In today's video, I'm going to show you one product that can make your race car much more consistent at the racetrack, and it's in this box. Stay tuned. Check it out, you guys. What we have here is a transmission fluid pump that we are going to wire into the cooling system for our transmission. That's going to allow us to basically pump fluid through the transmission, through the converter, and through the transmission cooler while we're sitting parked in the pits. Super excited to take advantage of this. This is something that I have been curious about for some time now. As you guys know, in previous videos last year, I was focused on trying to make some sort of a fan cooling system for actually cooling down my converter and my transmission fluid in between rounds, because as you guys know, as you get into the late rounds, you start going round robin. When it actually matters, deep into those money rounds, that's when your transmission temperatures start to creep up, and transmission fluid temperature is so critical for having a consistent car, especially in the late rounds. So this is something that I have been super curious about. This is also going to help prolong the life of your transmission by providing consistent fluid temperatures throughout the life of the transmission. The kit is going to come with everything that you need, including this pump, this kind of distribution block here that we'll talk a little bit more about later, a couple adapters and fittings, and all of the electrical that you need, as well as a set of instructions. What I really like about this kit is that you can mount this pump in any orientation pretty much. The only thing that's critical is that you mount this distribution block into the correct orientation. So this port right here called pump, it's critical that that is facing down. That's the only thing that really matters as far as orientation of mounting all this stuff onto your car or onto your transmission. Quickly looking at the plumbing on this unit, it's very simple. Your transmission pan will need to have a port put in the bottom of it. I will show that later on in the video. You'll go ahead and just plumb that right into the inlet of the pump. From the outlet of the pump, you'll plumb right into the pump port on the distribution block. The distribution block must be mounted such that the pump port is facing down. That is critical. Your transmission cooler can be mounted to any of these ports that say cooler, so either the top or the bottom. If you want to flip these fittings around, feel free to do so, whatever's more convenient for your specific application. So your transmission cooler is mounted to one of these two ports, and then the transport goes to the out port on your transmission. So that's how simple it is. On a Power Glide, the out port is the bottom port on the transmission, but make sure you understand what you're doing for your specific transmission and your application. So that's really how simple the plumbing is on this Jones transmission cooler. Going to be hard to see, but we're going to make a little sheet metal bracket that mounts this up to this piece of chromoly right here. That's actually the cooling fan, the transmission cooler mount right here. So we're going to make a nice little sheet metal bracket that drops down off of that. We'll just weld that on. We do have this distribution block kind of mounted on the back side of that same tranny cooler mount. You can see right here we just kind of have a spacer, a little piece of ready rod on the inside. So this is going to work out pretty well because the pump will get plumbed to the bottom of this transmission cooler, which goes from this port up to this port. That'll be an easy run, and then this one right here actually just shoots right through here over to the other side of the transmission. So coming together, just kind of trying to figure out how to fit things in here. Pump is mounted, distribution block is mounted, as I mentioned. We kind of have everything fabbed up as how it's going to be sitting in there. We have one line done, so from the pump outlet into the bottom of the distribution block, we have that pump. The next step here is we're going to go ahead and connect the inlet of the pump to the bottom of the transmission pan, so we're going to drill and tap a hole into there next, and then just the rest of the plumbing will come after that. Alright guys, the pan is off of the car. The recommendation is to drill and tap a hole about 1.5 to 2 inches from the bottom of the pan, 1/4 inch pipe thread, and then we'll go ahead and put this piece in there so that we can connect up to the inlet of the pump. Battery. Alright guys, this is one of those situations where we didn't have all the parts we needed to do a project, so then we had to order some parts, and then it took some time. So now fast forward, and this project is done. Look at this, you guys. And you might notice the transmission color has changed because we tore the transmission out. We had it rebuilt by the boys over at Long Motorsports Performance Transmissions. Dale's A1 transmission, Mitchell, South Dakota. But transmission is rebuilt, ready to go. And by the time we got that done, we had all of the missing fittings and stuff that we needed to gather for installing the Jones transmission cooling systems, transmission fluid pump. And now it is ready to go. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys how this turned out and what it looks like. As you can see, we kind of, I mean, not gonna lie, I wish we could have made that a little bit different, but it just didn't work out in our particular situation, so we kind of got a loop-de-loop situation going on. I mean, it ain't bad, it ain't bad. And then, of course, the other side of the transmission cooler gets connected to the other port on the transmission. So I'll put like a diagram on the screen or something to kind of explain this a little bit better, because you got to make sure you get the in and out port on the transmission. You have to get that right. So I'll put a diagram on the screen. Go ahead and look at that. I wanted to briefly talk a little bit about the wiring of this system, because that can be a little bit confusing. They do include a relay, and the relay is right here. So this is the relay that is included in the kit. So I'm going to put a wiring diagram on the screen right now to kind of show you the recommended way of doing this, even though that's not exactly what I did. See, what I wanted to do was use the aux switch on my K&R Super Duty wiring kit switch panel. So of course, I kind of had to do it a little bit differently. So mine is wired a little bit different, but here's basically how this relay works. There's 5 pins on this relay, only 4 of them get used. The one that does not get used is the red. So this red is dead-ended right here. There's nothing going on with red. That's pin number 87. Nothing going on with red. Don't even worry about it. Okay, the green one is pin number 87A. That one is what you're gonna send to the pump. The transmission pump back there on the transmission, that is the green wire. So that's gonna feed your pump. All right, so then what you have is a signal, basically the black one. That's the one you can't really see. The black one down there is pin number 30. That's basically your switch. So what I have that connected to is the aux connection on my relay board for the K&R Super Duty wiring kit. So that is what pin number 30 is. That is the black connected to aux, which leaves you with blue and white. So this is basically the trigger for the relay. So the blue one is pin number 85. This is connected to ignition accessory. So whenever ignition gets power, this needs to get power. So I have mine connected, of course, to ignition accessory right here on my relay board. And then the white one goes to ground. So I have that connected through there back to my ground. So that's how you wire this relay to use it with the Jones pump back here on the transmission. If you guys have any questions at all about the Jones transmission cooling systems pump system at all, as far as plumbing it or wiring it, drop me a comment down below. I will try to do my best to help you guys out. I'll try to do my best to explain it. Hopefully the diagram's on the screen, and I'll put some links to their website and the instruction manual and stuff like that down in the description of this video. Oh my. A huge, massive, gigantic thank you goes out to all of the guys over at Jones Transmission Cooling Systems for sponsoring this video and hooking us up with this outstanding way to keep our car more consistent in the late rounds. That's what I'm excited about. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Brandon, over at Jones Transmission Cooling Systems. Check them out. And don't forget, use GallStar 5 for 5% off. The hour is late at night, so I'm gonna go to bed now. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you liked this video, let YouTube know. Please hit the like button, click subscribe, and visit the GallStar TV swag shop to help support the creation of more videos.